Imagine a world where beliefs are dictated not by faith, but by evidence. This is the vision of Richard Dawkins, a prominent voice in the dialogue between science and religion. Dawkins, a leading evolutionary biologist, presents a compelling challenge to religious belief systems. His argument is rooted in a steadfast commitment to evidence and reason. Dawkins has dedicated much of his career to questioning the validity of faith without empirical support. He suggests that the belief in a divine creator lacks the rigorous evidence demanded by the scientific method. To Dawkins, the idea of God does not hold up under the scrutiny of scientific inquiry. He argues that faith, by its nature, exists outside the realm of evidence. This is where the conflict, as he sees it, begins. For Dawkins, the theory of evolution offers a more robust explanation for life's complexity than any religious narrative. He views natural selection as a powerful force that shapes the diversity of life on Earth. Through meticulous research and observation, the evidence for evolution becomes increasingly compelling. Unlike religious explanations, which rely on sacred texts and traditions, evolution is supported by data and experimentation. This scientific perspective is central to Dawkins' argument. He believes that understanding the natural world through science reveals the true wonder of life. The processes that drive evolution, mutation, selection, and adaptation are, for Dawkins, far more awe-inspiring than any supernatural story. He often speaks about the beauty and intricacy of natural phenomena, which can be appreciated without invoking a deity. To him, this appreciation is not diminished, but rather enhanced by a scientific understanding. Dawkins' critique revolves around the scientific method as a fundamental tool for understanding our universe. This method relies on observation, experimentation, and the testing of hypotheses. It demands evidence and skepticism as means to discern truth from belief. Dawkins argues that this approach has led to monumental discoveries and advancements in human knowledge. It has pushed the boundaries of what we understand about the universe and our place within it. For Dawkins, the scientific method is not just a tool but a philosophy, a way of thinking that encourages questioning and critical inquiry. He sees it as an antidote to dogma and blind faith. In his view, when beliefs are held without evidence, they become vulnerable to error and manipulation. This is a point he emphasizes in his discourse on religion versus science. Dawkins' insistence on evidence over faith is provocative and often sparks debate. Critics argue that he dismisses the social and emotional roles religion plays in people's lives. They contend that religion offers comfort, community, and moral guidance, elements that science alone may not provide. These critics suggest that Dawkins overlooks the way religion shapes cultural and personal identity. Yet, Dawkins remains resolute in his perspective. He invites his audience to rely on rational argumentation rather than emotional appeal. For him, the benefits of religion do not justify belief without evidence. He believes that moral and ethical frameworks can exist independently of religious doctrine. Through reason and empathy, he argues, people can find meaning and purpose in life. He encourages a scientific worldview, one that embraces curiosity and seeks out answers through evidence. Dawkins suggests that such an outlook fosters innovation and progress. It challenges individuals to think critically about the beliefs they hold. This, he argues, is essential for personal and societal growth. Dawkins' ideas are not without controversy. His critiques of religion have sparked intense discussions among scholars, theologians, and lay people alike. Regardless of agreement or disagreement, his work invites deeper consideration of how we understand the world. Should our perceptions be informed by faith, evidence, or a combination of both? This question lies at the heart of Dawkins' challenge to religious belief systems. As we continue exploring the views of Richard Dawkins, we find ourselves at a crossroads between belief and evidence. His arguments push us to reflect on our personal convictions and the foundations upon which they are built. The dialogue he initiates is an invitation to engage with challenging questions about existence and understanding. Critics argue that Dawkins underestimates the social and emotional impact of religion. They point out that faith offers more than metaphysical claims. For many, it provides community, comfort, and a sense of belonging. religion often plays a crucial role in personal and cultural identities. It can offer support during times of hardship and guidance through life's uncertainties. These critics believe that Dawkins overlooks these aspects in his critiques. Yet Dawkins counters with rational argumentation. He acknowledges the emotional and social dimensions of religion, but questions if these justify belief without evidence. He suggests that reliance on unproven ideas can lead to dogma. Dawkins argues that truth claims should be subject to the same scrutiny, regardless of their emotional appeal. He believes that understanding the world through evidence and reason does not diminish life's richness. Instead, it enhances our appreciation of reality. Dawkins maintains that moral and ethical systems can be grounded in reason and empathy. He argues that one can find meaning and community without adhering to religious doctrine. For him, the pursuit of knowledge and truth through science enriches human life. It encourages individuals to think critically and compassionately. This perspective, he asserts, can provide a solid foundation for morality and purpose. Ultimately, Dawkins invites viewers to consider whether faith or evidence should guide our understanding. He challenges individuals to evaluate the basis of their beliefs. Are these beliefs supported by observable evidence, or do they rely on faith alone? This question lies at the heart of Dawkins' challenge to religious belief systems. It encourages a thoughtful examination of how we form our worldviews. For Dawkins, embracing a scientific worldview is a call to engage with curiosity. It is an invitation to explore the wonders of the natural world with an open mind. He suggests that this approach fosters innovation and progress. By questioning assumptions and seeking evidence, individuals can contribute to societal growth. This, in Dawkins' view, is essential for advancing human understanding and well-being. His position is not without its detractors. Some argue that Dawkins' focus on evidence overlooks the nuances of human experience. They contend that not all aspects of life can be measured or tested scientifically. Emotions, art, and spirituality, they say, play profound roles in shaping human existence. These critics assert that a purely scientific approach might miss these subtleties. Dawkins, however, remains steadfast in his belief in the power of evidence-based reasoning. He posits that even the most complex questions about existence can benefit from scientific inquiry. While acknowledging the limitations of science, he argues that it remains our best tool for discovering truth. The scientific method, he suggests, is adaptable and self-correcting. It allows humanity to revise its understanding as new evidence emerges. For Dawkins, the dialogue between science and religion is more than an academic exercise. It is a vital discussion about how we comprehend the universe and our place within it. He encourages ongoing debate and reflection on these fundamental questions. This conversation, he believes, is crucial for fostering an informed and thoughtful society. As we reflect on the views of Richard Dawkins, we find ourselves at a crossroads between belief and evidence. His arguments challenge us to examine the foundations of our personal convictions. They invite us to engage with difficult questions about existence and understanding. Whether one agrees with Dawkins or not, his work prompts careful consideration of the role of faith and evidence in our lives. Join us next time as we explore another thinker's fascinating perspective on life and meaning. Until then, continue to question, reflect, and seek understanding. Thank you for listening. The journey of scientific inquiry began long before the modern era, with roots in ancient civilizations like Egypt and Mesopotamia. These early societies developed rudimentary forms of astronomy and medicine, laying foundational stones for future science. The Greeks, including figures like Thales and Pythagoras, introduced systematic observation and mathematical principles. Aristotle further advanced inquiry with his empirical approach, observing natural phenomena and classifying living organisms. However, it was not until the Islamic Golden Age that significant advancements occurred. Scholars like Alhazen and Avicenna translated and expanded upon Greek texts, pioneering the scientific method as we know it today. The Renaissance revived interest in empirical research, leading to the scientific revolution. Copernicus proposed a heliocentric model of the solar system, challenging Earth-centered views. Galileo's use of the telescope provided evidence for this model, while Kepler's laws of planetary motion refined it. These breakthroughs set a precedent for evidence over tradition. Isaac Newton's work in the 17th century epitomized this new era of scientific inquiry. His laws of motion and universal gravitation synthesized previous discoveries into a cohesive framework, solidifying the empirical approach. The Enlightenment further emphasized reason and observation, with thinkers like Francis Bacon advocating for inductive reasoning. This historical evolution informs Richard Dawkins' perspective on evidence-based reasoning. He regards these scientific advances as a triumph of empirical evidence over dogma. For Dawkins, the legacy of figures like Newton and Galileo underscores the power of observation and experimentation in understanding the world. Moving forward, we see how evidence-based morality draws from this legacy, shaping ethical considerations through the lens of science. Join us as we delve into examples that illustrate this profound interplay between morality and evidence. Consider the development of human rights as a powerful example of evidence-based morality. Rooted in Enlightenment principles, the movement emphasizes reason and empirical understanding of human nature. Thinkers like John Locke argued that all individuals possess inherent rights. These rights stem not from religious mandates but from the very nature of being human. Over time, this rational foundation has shaped international declarations, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Secular humanitarian efforts further illustrate this moral framework. Organizations like Doctors Without Borders provide aid irrespective of religious affiliation. Their guiding principle is the alleviation of suffering based on human need, supported by evidence of where help is most required. This approach relies on data and observation to prioritize action, highlighting an ethical stance grounded in empathy and reason. Another example is the abolition of slavery. The movement gained momentum through appeals to reason and shared humanity. Prominent figures, such as Frederick Douglass, used evidence of slavery's brutality to argue for its abolition. Their moral arguments drew strength from rational discourse, challenging the notion that morality requires religious backing. Richard Dawkins argues that these instances demonstrate how morality can flourish independently of religious doctrines. He suggests that reason and empathy, informed by evidence, offer a robust foundation for ethical systems. This perspective challenges the idea that only religious beliefs can underpin morality. As we move forward, we will explore how science not only informs moral decisions, but also influences our understanding of art and emotion. This interplay raises profound questions about the limits of rationalism in human experience. The role of science in art and emotion provides a fascinating counterpoint to critics who claim empirical methods reduce the richness of these experiences. Science offers profound insights into the neurological processes underpinning creativity and emotional responses. For instance, studies in neuroaesthetics reveal how the brain's response to visual stimuli can predict aesthetic experiences. These insights come from interdisciplinary research, where neuroscience meets art theory. Researchers use brain imaging to observe how certain regions light up when individuals view paintings or listen to music. This reveals that our aesthetic preferences are deeply connected to neural activity. Science also enhances our understanding of emotion. Psychologists and neuroscientists have explored how emotions are not mere abstract feelings, but are linked to specific neural pathways and chemical reactions. Experiments show that the amygdala plays a crucial role in processing emotions such as fear and pleasure. This knowledge deepens our appreciation of how artists manipulate emotional responses through their work. It also challenges the notion that scientific analysis strips away the magic of human experience. Furthermore, insights from evolutionary psychology suggest that our ability to create and appreciate art has adaptive benefits. Art could have played a role in social cohesion and communication in early human societies. This perspective helps us see art not just as a cultural artifact, but as an integral part of human evolution. In integrating scientific perspectives with art and emotion, we gain a richer, more nuanced understanding of these domains. This exploration invites us to consider the limits of pure rationalism. Next, we will delve into critiques of rationalism. questioning whether reason alone suffices in grasping the complexities of human emotion and creativity. While Richard Dawkins champions evidence and rationalism as central to understanding the world, critics have raised concerns about the limitations of this approach. Philosophers and theologians often argue that rationalism, while powerful, leaves out significant aspects of human experience. For instance, existential questions such as the meaning of life, the nature of consciousness, and the roots of morality often elude purely scientific explanations. Philosopher Alasdair MacIntyre contends that rationalism lacks the narrative context needed to navigate moral and ethical landscapes. He argues that human lives are storied and that these narratives cannot be fully captured by empirical data alone. Similarly, theologian Paul Tillich suggests that rationalism fails to address questions of ultimate concern, those that deal with the depth dimension of human existence. Critics assert that rationalism might neglect the subjective and emotional aspects of life that are not easily quantifiable. For example, the experience of love or the appreciation of beauty in art often involves elements beyond rational analysis. These experiences are deeply felt and can be transformative, yet they resist reduction to purely scientific terms. Moreover, some thinkers argue that an over-reliance on rationalism can lead to a dehumanizing worldview, where individuals are seen as mere data points rather than complex beings with intrinsic worth. This critique highlights the potential for rationalism to erode the richness of human experience in its quest for objectivity. As we examine Dawkins' responses to these criticisms, we will explore whether his approach can accommodate the profound aspects of human life that seem to lie beyond the reach of evidence and reason. Richard Dawkins, a staunch advocate of rational inquiry, addresses critiques of pure rationalism with several key points. He recognizes that while science thrives on evidence and reason, it is not impervious to insights from other domains of human understanding. Dawkins argues that the scientific method is inherently adaptable. It evolves by incorporating new information, even from fields traditionally considered outside its purview, such as the humanities and social sciences. Dawkins contends that the adaptability of science is its greatest strength. It allows for the integration of diverse perspectives into a coherent framework. For instance, he acknowledges the contributions of literature and art in understanding human consciousness and emotions. He suggests that these disciplines provide valuable data that science can interpret and incorporate into its models. This openness undercuts the view that rationalism is overly rigid or reductive. Furthermore, Dawkins highlights the role of interdisciplinary research in expanding the scope of scientific inquiry. He cites examples where collaborations between scientists and scholars of humanities have led to new insights. For instance, studies on moral behavior have benefited from philosophical discourse, while psychological research often draws on historical and cultural contexts to enrich its findings. Dawkins believes that this symbiosis strengthens, rather than dilutes, the scientific endeavor. In his view, critiques of rationalism often overlook the progressive nature of science. By admitting its limitations and seeking input from other fields, science enhances its ability to address complex human questions. This adaptability, Dawkins argues, is crucial to a robust evidence-based worldview. As we delve into the interplay between science and religion, we will consider how these two domains might inform each other in the search for truth. Science and religion have long shared a complex relationship, characterized by both conflict and collaboration. The dialogue between these fields often centers around the search for truth, albeit through different methodologies. Some religious thinkers view scientific advancements not as threats, but as enrichments to their faith tradition. For instance, the Catholic Church has historically supported scientific inquiry. In the 20th century, Pope John Paul II acknowledged the theory of evolution as more than just a hypothesis, seeing in it a way to understand divine creation. Similarly, the Dalai Lama has expressed openness to scientific findings. He stated that if scientific analysis were to conclusively demonstrate certain Buddhist beliefs as false, then those beliefs would have to change. This perspective illustrates a willingness within some religious circles to integrate empirical evidence into spiritual understanding. Furthermore, Various scientists have explored spirituality's place within the framework of scientific inquiry. Albert Einstein, although not conventionally religious, famously marveled at the universe's complexity, which he described as a kind of reverence for the natural order. Such perspectives highlight how scientific curiosity and spiritual insight can coexist, each enriching the other with a deeper appreciation for existence. This interplay suggests that science and religion do not have to dwell in opposition. Instead, their interaction can lead to a more comprehensive worldview. By embracing discoveries from both realms, we gain a fuller picture of human life and the universe. As we look to the future, the potential for evidence-based worldviews to integrate insights from both science and religion remains promising, hinting at new pathways for understanding and coexistence. The future of evidence-based worldviews is closely tied to the rapid advancements in technology and science. As artificial intelligence and machine learning evolve, they offer unprecedented tools for analyzing vast amounts of data. This could lead to more refined and evidence-driven insights into human behavior and decision-making. For instance, predictive algorithms might help individuals make choices aligned with both personal and communal well-being. Furthermore, the rise of biotechnology could challenge traditional beliefs about life and morality. Genetic engineering and synthetic biology may redefine what it means to be human, compelling societies to reevaluate ethical frameworks. The balance between faith and evidence may shift as individuals are faced with questions about the nature of consciousness and identity. Communities might increasingly turn to evidence-based practices in areas like education and public policy. Data-driven approaches could enhance social well-being, but they may also provoke resistance from those who see them as undermining cultural traditions or spiritual values. The challenge will be to find ways to harmonize empirical findings with deeply held beliefs. As scientific understanding deepens, the dialogue between evidence and faith will likely grow more intricate. Future generations may cultivate a worldview that synthesizes scientific inquiry with spiritual wisdom, fostering a more holistic approach to life's questions. This convergence could lead to innovative solutions for global issues like climate change, where both empirical evidence and moral imperatives play crucial roles. The journey towards integrating belief and evidence is ongoing, inviting us to explore further intersections between these realms. In synthesizing belief and evidence, individuals are encouraged to cultivate a mindset that values both empirical data and subjective experience. The philosopher William James acknowledged the importance of personal beliefs in shaping our realities, while also recognizing the power of scientific inquiry. This dual approach can offer a more nuanced understanding of the world. To bridge the gap between differing perspectives, fostering dialogue is key. Empathy acts as a crucial tool, allowing individuals to appreciate the emotional and contextual underpinnings of different worldviews. Philosopher Martha Nussbaum champions the role of empathy in understanding others, suggesting it cultivates a richer comprehension of human experiences. Open-mindedness, too, serves as an essential quality, enabling individuals to entertain ideas that challenge their preconceptions. A strategy to enhance dialogue involves creating spaces for shared learning experiences. Workshops and community discussions can serve as platforms where diverse perspectives meet. Here, evidence-based reasoning can coexist with personal narratives, each informing and enriching the other. Encouraging individuals to ask questions rather than make assumptions can further facilitate understanding. In navigating existential questions, flexibility becomes a strength. By allowing beliefs to adapt in light of new evidence, individuals can remain grounded yet open to change. This adaptability mirrors the scientific method, which thrives on revision and refinement. As Carl Sagan famously noted, science is a way of thinking much more than it is a body of knowledge. Thus, the synthesis of belief and evidence offers not only a more comprehensive worldview, but also invites us to continuously question and explore. The next section will delve into how this interplay might shape future dialogues between science and spirituality, opening new avenues for exploration. As we stand at the crossroads of belief and evidence, we are reminded that both are integral to our understanding of the world. Immanuel Kant suggested that our experiences are shaped by both sensory input and the mind's interpretative frameworks. This duality encourages us not to see science and spirituality as opposing forces, but as complementary paths to insight. By fostering a dialogue between these domains, we may unlock new ways of thinking and being. Such a synthesis demands humility and openness, qualities that are essential for true wisdom. In a world where certainty often feels elusive, embracing this interplay can lead to richer, more nuanced perspectives. As we continue to explore these themes, we invite you to join us in the next essay, where we will journey further into the potential harmonies between scientific inquiry and spiritual understanding. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing more insights soon.